All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Once again, I know it has been a while, but once again, I am your boy, Soul of a Man 504, aka Damon Alvarez. And welcome once again to Soulful Conversations, ladies and gentlemen, where I scour the earth for the most amazing and greatest talent people on the face of the face of the planet. So, once again, I have delivered. I have with me, the artist of artists, Miss Creativity herself. You know, she she wears many different hats, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm telling you, she is she is one of the baddest ladies on the planet. She's a singer. She's an artist. She's an author. She's a social media influencer. She's a workout guru. She's a world traveler. She's an overall creative. But and she said, man, look, that's easy work. That's easy work. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Shaleyah.
Thank you so much for having me. I am grateful to be on your show. I appreciate the invite. So thanks for inviting me on so we can talk.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Like I said, I've been I've been following your work for some time. I saw you. I think I saw a video of you at. I think was it at the Grammys? I don't know if it was. It was recent. I remember it was recent. Lots been going on.
Absolutely. I went to the Grammys in 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah, because that's when everything changed.
Yeah.
2020. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant and all those who were on that plane. That was such a somber day. I was so excited to be at the Grammys because it was a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
Something I worked towards for a while. I am a voting member of the Recording Academy. So it was just the next step. Of course, I'm going to the Grammy Awards. I had submitted music for, I had submitted multiple things in the past for nomination. So it was a great opportunity to be there. At the same time, it was somber because the world experienced such a loss that day.
Right. And it's interesting that you brought up Kobe, and the research that I've been doing and the research that I've done on you have that Mamba mentality in the sense where you don't just go off of talent alone. The greats from what I see, be it in all forms of entertainment, sports, or business, they're out there, not just being like smart, having that high IQ, but they outwork everybody. So where did that strong work ethic come from? When it comes to what you do.
I would definitely have to say that strong work ethic came from my parents. I've seen my parents work hard, and in particular, my mother. She's always been a stickler, like staying on top of me to make sure I take care of my business. Like, make sure you get that done. Like, that's one of the ways my mother shows her love. That's like her love language. Like, she'll stay on you to make sure you get it done. If she cares, then she wants to see you win and do well and be successful. And so I'm so grateful for a mother like that. So it starts with her. She's on top of her business. And if you are close to her, she's going to make sure you're on yours as well.
Yeah, family. Yeah, family. Family. I feel is very important. As far as just natural having a support system, and not just blood family, but people who come in. Who you meet as friends, and who also become like family also. So you growing up in the church, and I do recall you said that you sang in the choir. How influential was it for you growing up, and how much did the church help you to become the amazing artist that you are right now?
The church was very foundational for me. And once again, I have to include my mother in this. She obviously is one of my big influences. My mother is a pianist and a singer. And she did that at the church that I grew up at. She was also the choir director for a while. And she worked in the finance office. So this is my mother wearing those hats of being the creative, the musician, the singer, but also making sure everything is going right in the finance office with her number skills. So the church was foundational for me. I like to say I was born into the church, and then my mother immediately put a choir robe on me and put me in the choir stand. So that's my foundation. And then from there, it grew into several other gospel music opportunities, whether that was in school, growing up, but also I was a part of the Gospel Music Workshop of America. So that was the Houston Mass Choir and the Texas Mass Choir, and then the National Youth Choir, and then on from there. And I had the opportunity to not only sing in those choirs, but also take on leading roles as well. Leading in choirs and acting and stuff like that. So I would say the Christian faith as well as the church, because the church expands beyond just the church that you go to. All of that was very foundational for me.
Yeah, one thing I always tell people, for those that, for those that scripture, for those for whom much is given, much is required. So, and that's for you. You wear, you wear a lot of, you're very multi-talented. Let me say that, and you wear a lot of different. You wear like creatively a lot of different hats, So
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You have to give, game recognizes game. I'm always say that. And you gotta, you have to give, you gotta give credit where you have to give credit where credit is due. And I believe in giving people, their roses, while they're still here with us, and yeah. So okay, so you said so from singing in the choir, doing different groups. So now being more of a solo artist, how important was it for you, just more branding wise, getting your name out there, just showing people who you are, in the forefront. How important, was that for you to do that?
That's always been important to me, but I find that naturally I ended up in groups, conglomerations or whatever. Like, I guess people saw the talent and they saw how it would be useful and beneficial to have me on their team. And I do have the skill of being a team player, but I've always known how important it is to be able to reflect my own individuality, self-expression, freedom. All those things have always been important to me. And I think over time, that importance intensified. And so I've always been pushing to present myself in the solo light. I started out let me not say I started out that way. After college, that's what I was doing. But then other opportunities came up. So eventually I was like, okay, I got to get back to this. I need to go back to making sure people understand who I am, because sometimes when you're in group settings, who you truly are, who I truly am, was somewhat masked because I had to consider everybody else. So I wasn't able to just fully represent who I am. So it's majorly important to me. My art, like I said, self-expression is a big part of it. So this is just me being vulnerable. And actually, I have a project coming out. It's called More Than Enough. It's my EP, and I'm releasing it next month, July 16th. And I'm doing a big celebration show here in Atlanta on the 17th. So it's a big deal. Finally, people will get to hear more of who I am, more of my story, hear the sounds that I like to hear. And I kind of call it a time capsule, because I really finished that project during the shutdown, So even though I started the project prior to, it was able to culminate and be finished during the shutdown. So I was able to capture that moment, if you will, where I was at that time. So now I just want to free up, share it with everybody so that they can hear where I'm coming from, vibe to the music. Music is very powerful. I want it to be healing in certain ways. I want people to be able to relate to what I'm saying, but also hear it and feel it and be healed from it as well, because I think that's another important component. So yeah, I'm excited to share that music.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. One thing as an artist is creative control. I can tell that that you're very, you're very intuitive. You're very much so hands-on in the things that you do. Just looking at your recent photo shoots and the outfit that you wear, the poses that you're doing, and you don't look like the type of person that somebody would just be, hey, here, put this on, and we're gonna do this. And you're like, whoa, hold on now. Wait.
Right, he's a whole boss over here.
Yeah. Right.
Whole boss. Yeah, bring me your ideas, and then I will let you know if I approve. That's definitely where I am with it. I like to work with people that I trust, though. I am pretty flexible and open to other people's ideas. But at the end of the day, I make the executive decision. So you're right about that.
Okay. And also you have a very, I would describe you more as, as a new school old soul, in how you sing, because how you sing, you pay homage to the greats, but you're doing it more in the sense of, you're doing it more in the sense of the now. And I feel like for you that's something that just makes you very revolutionary, very revolutionary, where, let's just be honest, in the music industry can be very cookie cutter. People, everybody's singing with auto tune, and we have some amazing producers, but the artists, like I could probably make a hit record with some auto tune and some great producers and whatever. But with you, you just have that you just have that natural talent. You just have that you just have that natural flow of things. You have like that. You just have that amazing natural order in how you can, put it all together. In a sense of it. Oh, no problem. So one thing you talked about was the exchange of energy with the audience. Because I know in whatever realm of entertainment, people will let you know they're not feeling it. You're gonna hear it.
Indeed, they will, especially audiences that look like us. They not playing.
Yeah. They like you will definitely if whatever it is, like if you're up there performing and they're not feeling that energy, like you will. I know probably places like Atlanta, New Orleans, Houston, where people, they pay their money, and so they want to show, so
Absolutely.
to speak. So,
you're right.
So what is the preparation for you? Because I know that you're an extremely hard worker. One thing being definitely being devout. What made you get more into the realm of like fitness and being a vegan and going down that road?
Okay, so I kind of heard this is a multi-layered question, so I'm going to take it in layers. When it comes to the energy exchange, you could say that which is connected to the yoga and things of that nature, I have a strong respect and inclination and proclivities towards the metaphysical and things of a spiritual nature. That's how they would be considered, right? So I feel like everything is energy anyway. So it's the same thing that I bring to my music and I bring to the live show. I know that I'm giving energy. I know that everybody in here has energy. Let's go ahead and make an agreement to have an exchange of that. Let's engage each other. And I like to do that to like break the ice or whatever. So I'm already aware that we're all affecting each other anyway. So I just like to call it out and use my awareness of that to help to share my own energy, shift the mood if necessary, and just be in it, right? Like an alchemist, like we're all manipulating energy all the time. So I'm just aware of that. So what got me into yoga and veganism, at a pretty early age, I realized I needed to make some changes in my diet and get healthier. I was overweight in middle school, and I didn't like it. I didn't even realize it had happened. It just kind of gradually happened. And then once I went to high school and it started to become more, I became more aware of it because I had to start weighing myself. I wanted to start doing more extracurricular activities where I'm wearing costumes, like I'm, doing flag
Mm-hmm.
corps in the band and stuff like that. And so I started to care, like, oh, they need my measurements and my weight and stuff like that. And so
Right.
it brought it to my attention. So from there, I started making changes. And as I started making those changes, I learned about a plant-based diet or taking meat out of the diet and certain other things and how that can help to um, increase weight loss. So that's how it started for me. In high school, I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating sweets, dairy, food, and soda. And I was able to drop 30 pounds doing that. And from there, I just graduated even more. So I started pescatarian, so I was still eating fish, but I was not eating meat. And then over time, I learned more about what's healthy for the body, more about nutrition, more about the meat and dairy industry. And so it's just escalated from there. I did have some moments where I went back to eating meat, like after like my later years in college and right after. But then after graduating, just maybe a year after graduating, I went back to being plant-based. And so I eventually graduated into being vegan because I would say it's sort of a stair step. Vegetarian isn't vegan. Vegan is like the strictest. No, raw vegan is the strictest, which I did that for about a year. I've done raw vegan too. But all of these things help to grow my understanding of my own body and nutrition to see what works well for me, what doesn't. So, what I recently learned about was my own blood type, and I'm B positive. And so I've been incorporating things that are supposed to be good for my blood type into my diet as well. So just wanting to be my best, be a healthy way so that I can be the most functional as possible. That's what got me into veganism and plant-based whole foods veganism because one can be vegan one can be vegan and not eat meat or anything like that. No animal products. That's what vegan means, to not eat animal products. However, you can also eat junk food. I often say fries, beer, both vegan. You know what I'm saying? So I want to focus on eating foods that are nutritious and not just vegan. So it's bigger than the veganism part for me. I need the nutrition. And then yoga, believe it or not, the first time that I really heard about yoga was through Madonna. I was seeing how like fit she was staying as she aged, and I was just like, wow, what is she doing? And I think I watched an interview or something like that. I'm always curious about people's stories, especially people who have stories that I feel are similar to mine or they've taken a
Mm-hmm.
path that I'm taking or I'm interested in. And she started talking about how yoga has really helped to help her to stay fit. And so then I started researching it and I just started doing it. And I've been on a yoga journey for a long time, since about 2007. About 2007 is when I started to commit to doing yoga more regularly. Yeah, so
Okay. Is it a certain type of yoga that you're doing, or you're incorporating maybe a different like different styles of yoga?
I incorporate different styles, but I tend to do Ashtanga yoga. So there's a vinyasa flow. I would consider that the more physical type of yoga. So because you're flowing into the postures more than say a yoga that is slower or restorative. That's
Hmm.
another form where it's not as intense. And there are forms that focus more on the breath and meditation. So I incorporate all of those styles of yoga into my own personal practice, but I tend to lean more on the vinyasa flow because it just works up more heat. And so I know some like diehard yogis would disagree. They don't feel like it's a workout. But I feel like when I'm doing the vinyasa flow, it is more of a workout for me, the way I approach yoga. So
Yeah, I've seen people that just do yoga, and I know, you know, maybe more in the African American community, comedic yoga is becoming, you know, very, very, very popular with people wanting to get more into their ancestry, and also just, you know, stay fit, and things like that. So like I've seen people just do yoga and they are cut, like they are, like they go to the
exactly.
gym and lift every day. I was like, that is crazy, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. Your own body weight can provide a lot of resistance. You can do a lot with your own body weight.
Right. Like I was seeing you, um, I was seeing you like during the, you know, like during the pandemic, and you know, I was seeing you like working out, and I was like, man, I gotta get, you know, I gotta get myself back in the gym. So you inspired me, man. You were one of the people, you know, like I would see you, just getting it, you know, and I'm like, you know, I gotta, you know, I gotta get myself, you know, back in. So, you know, I definitely have started doing that. So,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Congratulations. I know
thank
it's
you,
not
thank you, because you know, I know you know, I know it pays off. One thing I know about Kobe, and I'll be quick with this story. He said coming into the NBA, he looked at the other players and he said, "Well, these guys are just." You know, coming into the league for just like, you know, so that they can be great, you know, good and set financially. He said, but I wanted to win, so he said, man, I'm gonna kick these dudes' butts. You know I got this. So you know, so it goes back to, you know, just goes back to just having that strong work ethic, and just having that will, like no matter what. And I also heard you talking about, you know, how somebody could see you doing that. Oh, okay, you're just doing your little, you know, or you're just writing your little, you know, like myself, I write books. So that, you know, but I think when it comes to people who maybe naysayers, doubters, or, you know, maybe people close to you, whatever, once they see that you can, you know, I think you were talking about the last interview, you were talking about the starving artist. And so, you know, how that plays into people looking at you, and, you know, they think that, oh, well, you know, they think that automatically they see you in maybe a magazine or a photo shoot that you automatically making millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like you done made it, you know? So, but I know that, you know, I know that in a sense, you know, I know it's a grind. I know, you know, like you know, from my own personal, I know you could attest to that too. You know, it's, you know, you have to, you know, people would say, you know, in Hollywood or whatever, you have to naturally pay your dues, you know, and it takes time. And with that time comes development. You know, you start to, you know, you start to learn different things about the industry. You start to learn different things about business, and you also start to learn different things about yourself. So, you know, can you, you know, can you talk about more, you know, a little bit about that starving, you know, about that starving artist mentality that's, you know, kind of out there?
Mm, that's a deep question right there. Like many things, this is a layered question. So I do feel that that has been a perpetuated idea. It's been indoctrinated into our minds
Hmm.
so many times. And I'll just use the example of the child who wants to become an artist. Let's say the child tells their parents, hey, I want to be an artist, whether that's a visual artist or a music artist or a different type of artist. And oftentimes, the parents will not support the idea. They might laugh at it. Depending on the age, they might be like, oh, okay. But as they become older, oh, the parents will be like, oh, no, that's not what you want to do. That's not going to pay you anything. The immediate idea is that that's risky. That's not going to pay you anything. Why don't you choose a career that will actually pay you? And so I think it starts right there. The implantation of the idea that art cannot feed you. And so we've created a society that perpetuates that idea.
Hmm.
And I know that parents just want to protect their children and they want their children to do well and be successful. And so that's why they're saying it. They're trying to protect them and steer them and guide them in the right direction. But if we would just take a step back and look at our lives, what would it be without art? Bland, boring, and blah. So we need it. Like, it's a part of what we do. Even just down to the basics. We incorporate art in almost everything that we do. Even this very platform that we're on right now, it was created. The creator still had to have an element of creativity and art to even make this interface that we're using to be able to communicate right now. So art is interwoven into every part of our life. Obviously, it's strong historically within our lives as well, interwoven, like I said. So I think that's a big part of it, just the perpetuating of that idea. And so since a lot of things that we deal with is mental anyway, it starts with the mindset. So you keep telling people that, and then they start to believe it. And let's say they buck the system and go into art anyway. Because that idea has been carried, so they've heard it so many times, or there's the idea of the starving artist, just the fact that that is an archetype or a stereotype. It means that it's in our minds, and so it becomes a poverty mentality. So instead of looking for the opportunities that will pay, or instead of creating a structure for yourself that will pay, you start to think, oh, well, if I do this, that means I have to starve. Oh, that means I have to pay my dues, and paying my dues means I have to be broke or starve. So I think that it's very unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we have that stereotype. And I am an active member of changing that. It doesn't have to be that way. And too many people are taking advantage. Those who are in power positions that can hire the artists and put people in place, they take advantage of that, and they pay pennies or don't pay at all. You know what I mean? So there are people taking advantage of that mindset. But let me tell you, there are a lot of people in the artistic industries who are making very good money. Very good money. So we have to stop that. We just got to stop it. It's a lie. It's a lie from hell.
It's interesting because the playing field has changed, because now we have social media, and really all it takes now, you can do a silly viral video. Like if you have a YouTube channel, you can stream it, you can monetize it. So there's a lot of like yourself, you wrote a book, so it's like you can tap into different forms of art, especially if you naturally have it inside of you. And we're going to get into that book in just 1 second. I just wanted to ask you, because I saw on your Instagram you have a lot of prophetic and profound well, go ahead. Yeah, quote. There you go. Yeah, you have a lot of quotes. So going to that, so how firm of a believer are you with, as far as affirming things, speaking things into existence, and the power of the tongue?
I'm huge on that. I think that that's a part of our gift, and some might see it as a curse, but it's a part of the power that we wield as human beings. We are creators. We all are creators. And so the power of what we say to ourselves, whether it's out loud verbally or just our inner thoughts without saying it out loud, those affirmations matter so much. We affirm things all day long. It's so deep. I did this study, and I actually wrote about it in my book. This woman, profound woman, her name is Sonia Barrett. I follow her work. And so I did this 6-week workshop with her, where the whole point was to get into your mindset, find out what you're telling yourself. So we had these exercises so that we could basically evaluate and monitor our own thoughts. And I found out some interesting things about what I was telling myself. But those things that we tell ourselves all the time, sometimes running in our subconscious and we're not even aware of it because we're not paying attention, those are affirmations. But we can take control of that and how we think by writing our own affirmations or finding other affirmations that resonate with us and say them as much as we can, like multiple times a day, maybe when we wake up and before we go to bed. But just having some sort of daily practice of affirming the things that are going well in our lives and the things that we want to multiply or the things that we want to attract. But speaking over our lives, I do believe we have the power to do that. And affirmations are a great way to do that. And speaking of my book, I actually have a section in my book that talks about how our mindsets are creating so much of our lives. And so I have a sub chapter on affirmations in particular, where I recommend some affirmations and I discuss why they're so important.
Yeah. So how do you like navigate? How do you? One thing with you is like your mind probably goes a mile a minute with ideas. Creativity is probably always firing off. So how do you just sit down and say like, okay, well, this is the next idea. I like to go with, be it how you like to present yourself as an artist, or what songs that you would like to have on an album, because your next book, because I know you're coming out with another one. I know eventually I know you got something. I know you got a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Eventually, I think I will do another book.
Yeah. So how do you just sit down and just kind of balance it all out? The mindset, the creativity, and like how do you just like naturally let it flow?
Ooh, that can be challenging sometimes because of the mile a minute mind that I have. So meditation helps a lot. I do my best to meditate first thing in the morning, and if I can't do it then, maybe later in the day, which can be a little more challenging. But meditation helps to kind of process those thoughts and then slow it down to a point where it's just kind of even keel, where I can allow myself to really sort through what I want to do. So meditation helps, and also just sitting down to make a plan, focusing on a particular thing. Like, okay, if I'm focused on a project, all right, these are the songs I've been working on. What songs do I really, really want to? Just taking the time to take a particular subject or matter and focus on that only. Also, lists help me a lot because I do wear a lot of hats. I have a lot of responsibilities. So sometimes I'll make a master list and then I'll pick from that list the things that I'm going to do as it pertains to any subject. And then I'll just keep going back to that list until I've taken care of all of it. And then I move on to another list. So I have a few different ways to navigate having such a mind that works the way that it does. Hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. You really did. I know, these questions, but I know they're a little deep, but
I like deep. I can do deep.
Yeah. The important thing, I think the main reason why I started this podcast is to show people that there are folks out there like that, like yourself and like them that are, going for it and that are just striving for something greater. I think the world needs I think the world needs a little bit more of that. Like we always see the polished perfection and the finished product, but we never hear, how, we never hear the sleepless nights. We never hear about the doubts. We never hear about the tears at night with the prayers and all of that good stuff. And, how God comes into your life and how he's so powerful. And, I'm a firm believer in my ancestors. So, I'm a firm believer that, we walk with the crowns, of them. And, we can, if we're just a little still and we go outside and listen to the wind, we can still hear those chains rattling from our ancestors that were, that came off those ships. That's why, what Michael B. Jordan said in that movie, bury me with my ancestors, the ones that jumped from those ships, because I forgot the rest of it, but you know what I'm saying? But we,
when you said that.
yeah. So, we have, But we need to be aware of these things, the things that we, the things that we learned in church, and also the things that and also knowing that they're there with us, whispering those great ideas, into our psyche, into our subconscious, so that I can write my books, you can write your your amazing great music, so that they can inspire you and tell you that that you're going to be a great artist, and that the big deal is coming. It's right around the corner. And sometimes we're like, well, where is it? Because I'm like, come on, I'm ready now. Because come on, man, I've been doing this for like 6-7 years now, but it's
I know about it. I know about it.
Yeah, but like you said, going back to the thing with the starving artist, now you can dress that up a little differently, because now you can market yourself, you can sell your own stuff, if you just a little bit more diligent. And so when the right people come along at the right time, they'll be like, hey, we Googled you, we've seen your stuff, we love you, we want you to come in, the A&R, this and that. And so I've heard a lot of those those stories in the industry, and I've interviewed people in the industry, and it helps me personally to be prepared for not when the moment comes, but when those for when those for when those moments come, so to speak. So what's coming up for you next, as far as performances and all of that good stuff goes. And I wanted to say something, man. I cannot wait till you do like your tiny desk, that in that format, man, that is going to be so bomb. When I saw I don't know what's the name of Tank and the Bangers. I know people that know her, but when I saw her on that, when I saw her on that I think that too, but yeah, when I saw her on that platform, I was so proud, man. Especially being from New Orleans, and kind of like being maybe on the outside looking in a little bit, but I know she was grinding for a minute, man. But and I know that you have that same heart of a champion, like no matter what, no matter how, who, what, when, where, that this is naturally going to happen, and you see you can see the beauty unfolding as you're going along. So can you talk? So like one of my last questions for you is all money isn't good money. When people come to you with these promises, like, oh, we can do this for you, and we can do that for you, and and like they'll give you like a big advance, you know what I mean? And then you end up, because a lot of people don't read their contracts. That's the thing, and I've always heard have your own lawyers, have your own team. And when you go in there and they're trying, whatever it is you're trying to do, if you're trying to do a movie, if you're trying to, sign a record deal, a book deal, whatever it is, I know they have these 360 deals. Can you talk a little bit more as far as knowing the business that you're so earnestly trying to get in, and how important that is?
Okay, so you asked about what I have coming up, but then you also asked about knowing the business. So first, I'll talk about what I have coming up. A couple of things. So I actually have a live streaming show that I'm doing in 2 days. So that's Thursday night. I will be doing a live streaming show from here in Atlanta at a venue called Vinkman's. They've been awesome, but it won't be a live studio audience. However, you can watch from anywhere.
Okay.
And the link is in my bio on Instagram. The link goes live at the time of the show. So basically, it's Thursday night from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. I will be performing with some other wonderful musicians, and so I'm really looking forward to that show. Also, as I mentioned before, I'm releasing my EP. So that's my full project, a solo project called More Than Enough. And I'm really excited about that. And I will be doing a release celebration and show on July 17th. So I have this Thursday, that show coming up, and then July 17th, I'm doing the release show, and I'll be releasing the music the day before. So it'll be available on all online platforms. And if you come to my show July 17th, you can get an autographed copy of the CD. So as far as knowing the industry, and let me just say this real quick before I go into that. Just speaking about the things that I have going on, if you go to Shaleyah.com, so that's my name spelled Shaleyah.com, will we be able to put that in the caption or comments or something like that?
Yeah, I'll put it in. Yeah, I'll put it in.
Okay, perfect. People can go there as well to listen to the current single that I have out, which is entitled Natural, and that word has come up a lot in our conversation today. So people can check out the music I already have out on all platforms, wherever you like to stream music, or you can go to my website, either way. And the book is available there as well. So you can just download the book. It's an ebook. And I'm thinking about doing a physical copy through Amazon. I think that'll be coming by the end of the year. But right now, you can just go there and download the book immediately, and it's yours. So when it comes to knowing the industry, that's very important. I think whatever industry you're in, whatever you're doing, whether it's cars, anything, you need to know the industry that you're in so that you can know how best to fit in. So you can find your lane, so that you can know what to expect, so that you can know what's coming down the road. Look at the trends and the patterns. What happens historically in this industry? What are the technological advances that are happening that will affect your industry? Because that's a reality. And technological advances are happening all day, every day, and it affects everybody and everything. So it's paramount. Know thyself is important. Know thyself. So if you need to know yourself, and this is a part of what you're doing, it's just as important. Know the terrain that you're dealing with. So with that said, the music industry continues to change. Talent never changes, but being a music artist, 90% of it is business. So you need to know how things are structured and what area of the business you want to go in. Do you want to be a songwriter? Do you only want to perform songs that other people write? Or are you performing songs that you write, or you write with a team? Who do you need on your team? Do you want to have a manager now? Do you only want a PR person and you set up your own tours, or do you want to work with a booking agency touring? It's just, there's so many different areas in the business. So it's important to just study as much as you can. Something that was recommended to me was find the people that are in the industry that you already look up to. You can approach them about potentially being a mentor, or you can just study what they're doing. When they have interviews, when they come out to speak, if they do that, if they have a lecture series or something like that, listen to what they're saying. Study their stories. If they write a book about their life and how they got to where they're going, read that book. There are also books about the music industry. There's important information in there that's very useful. That sometimes that information can become obsolete because things change so rapidly, but there's still information that's useful. So I think when something is important to a person, everybody doesn't know this, but I think there's a natural desire to find out more. So if this is important to you, if this is something you want to do, find out more about it. And there are a lot of tools. At the very least, you have Google.
Right.
Google it. Yeah, find out.
Right. And that, I could be smart with smartphones, folks. That's the best, that's the best thing. That's the best thing that I can tell you, and my amazing guests can tell you. You can, you use your phones for something other than social media, and XYZ. But
I would like to, my apologies for disrupting you or
interrupting. Oh, cool.
But I wanted to speak to what you just said about social media, because I agree. You can use your phone for so much more than social media, and it can expand you in a lot of ways. But even with social media, what I was just saying as far as knowing your industry leaders are oftentimes on social media, and you can just be one click away from accessing very powerful and influential people in your industry, and you can just reach out to them. We've seen so many things happen just on the strength of somebody tweeting another person or, you know, sending a DM. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a response, but you're that close. So believe enough in yourself and your own power to just make the moves that you need to make. Just get rid of the doubt, whatever you need to do to get rid of the doubt, because that doesn't help. And just believe in the desires and the dreams that you have, and believe in yourself that you have what you need to make it happen. And you can, and be flexible, because one dream can lead to another dream, can lead to another dream, and all of it can just be stepping stones to ultimately what you want in life. It can be a beautiful journey.
Right. Now I'll share a few stories once we wrap this up.
Okay.
But so, you know, in closing, is there could you leave us with some, you know, some form of inspiration for the people out there that are dreaming and, you know, that are just going forward and striving and will feel like, you know, oh, this, I don't think this is for me, I want to give up, and, you know, and blah blah blah.
Yes, so I can relate to that. There have definitely been moments where I've just questioned everything, like, am I on my right path? Is this my purpose? Am I doing what I should be doing? Why is this so hard? Maybe I should give up and just go do this other thing that seems more socially acceptable, easier, you know? So I would say look within. I think so much goes back to mindset and how we're approaching something mentally. So, number one, I'll say it again, believe in yourself. Whatever that is, just putting the goal and the desire and the dream aside. Just believe in you. Know that you have enough within yourself to be successful at what you choose and to be happy. And I know that word happy can be a trigger word, so we don't need to focus on that too much. But my point is just to believe that you already have within yourself the power within yourself to make some wonderful things happen. So outside of that, I would also say I absolutely believe in infinite intelligence, God, source, called by many names. I would say tap into that power if you are one who believes in that. However you tap into that power, because that can help multiply the belief in yourself. Now you have a belief in, now you are expanded. It's not just you. You know that you're expanded to a whole network. We're talking energetically now. So now you're harnessing that power. Harnessing that power. Well, what are you harnessing that power for? This is where vision comes into play. Vision is so important. You need a vision statement. Write down what it is you're going for. If this thing, you talked about a person struggling. Well, I talked about removing the self-doubt. When you can write it down, and I recommend actually writing it, typing is fine. But when you write it, that brings another level of manifestation into it because of what you're actually doing physically and energetically when you're writing. So write down your vision. Ask yourself those tough questions. What is it that I want? Where do I want to be in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? How do I want my life to look? Who am I engaging? Who do I want to enjoy what I'm doing? Is it everybody? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Those are the things that you need to write down so you can get a clear vision of what you want and where you're going. Once you do that, then you can start making decisions that align with your vision. I think a lot of us have that vision mentally, like, oh yeah, I think I want this house, or I think I want this car, or I think I want this mate, or I think I want I want my life to kind of look like this, Well, get clear on it. Clarity and vision are huge. Then you can just start making decisions that line up with the vision that you've already created. You know who you are, you have the power within, and you have an even greater power that you're utilizing, and go forward.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I can't make that any more clear. You know, it's like, to wrap that up, you know, you are the vision, you are the dream, you know, you are your destiny. So, you know, with that, you know, just just start putting in work, you know, a little bit at a time, each and every day. But as
Okay,
always,
make a correction before you go.
uh-huh.
I'm putting it in the comments. Hopefully I will be able to see it. The spelling.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on.
Can you see what I just put in? Backstage. Forgive me. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We got
okay.
You're good.
That was
You're
totally
good.
a mistake. I was like, it kicked me out.
I think you hit something.
I did.
Yeah. But yeah, we're good. So it's SHALEYAH.com.
SHALE. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. All right, folks. So y'all got the website. So y'all go ahead and support this young lady and everything that she does and everything that she's going to do in the very, very, very near future. We're expecting very, very big and amazing things from her. We're going to talk about that a little bit, for just a few minutes. I know she's busy. She got stuff to do. But as always, folks, y'all know who I am, Mr. Soul of a Man 504. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, folks, we are out this piece. So
thank you.
All right. No problem.